It's a very warm and sunny day in Melbourne. It's kind of feeling like summer now. It's going to be a top of 29, and the last few days have been cold and rainy, which I don't mind because I don't have to water the garden. Anyway, I just wanted to show you some updates that I've got going on with my veggie garden. I did try and make this video last night, but when I uploaded it and watched it back, I noticed I gave myself motion sickness, and a few people have said that I moved the camera around too fast. So hopefully today is a bit better. Something exciting in the last week, I just pulled out all my garlic. How gorgeous is it? Just hanging up there to dry, and got a decent lot of it given how poorly it was treated at the beginning of the season when I first planted it and the dog kept digging it up. Got some lovely figs growing, some little buds starting there. I've got a few big ones on here too. A few of them have fallen victim to little hands picking them before they were ready, but hopefully we'll get some more. It looks like there's quite a few on there. Got this beautiful Lisbon lemon in a pot. And over here, my mandarin tree is looking spectacular. It's got all of this new growth on it. It's looking really, really green and lovely. Underneath it, I've got some exciting new things happening. I've got 2 more fruit trees. And this one here is a super dwarf Fuji apple. And this one over here is a leprechaun, which is like a dwarf Granny Smith, I believe. And I'm fairly certain they pollinate each other, which is great too, because with apples you need a pollinator. This is a little curry leaf plant that I got from a friend, and in some old pots I had that were pretty empty, I've just put some cuttings, some geraniums, and some other things. I think that's a gorm. I don't know how you say it, guam, or I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but it's kind of like flowering, similar to a geranium looking thing. Anyway, very nice. Over here I've got some cuttings that I've just pinched from my friend's garden, some geraniums, some woolly bush, I'm seeing if that takes, succulents, chalk sticks, and then these ones, I think they're like I forget the name of them, similar to a salvia, and a few salvias as well, of course. Again, I'm trying really hard not to move my camera fast, so I don't want to give anyone motion sickness because it's pretty horrible. I've got my plum trees over here, or one of them, the Santa Rosa, which is my favorite. And then along here I've got loads and loads of flowers. These are really coming into their own. They're a type of native paper daisy, and I've got a few different colors of them. I'll show you what I'm doing with them. I think I'm going to make some Christmas wreaths. Oh, this is new. I've got 2 Happy Wanderers Hardenbergias. One of them is white and one's purple, and I've just built a trellis here similar to the one that I made for my kiwi berry, and I'm hoping that they will grow up and along that trellis. Here's what I'm doing with my paper daisies. I'm hanging them upside down to dry. If you put them in a vase to dry, they will droop over and the necks will bend and they'll be all floppy. Whereas I've found if you hang them up to dry upside down, the stems dry really straight, or at least upright, and then you can put them in a vase or do whatever you want with them. But there's some really lovely colours in there. Got some garden jobs that I'm in the middle of at the moment. I'm taking all this weed mat off. It's been covering up the ground here. I used to have couch grass in my backyard, and when I got rid of it all, that over there is buffalo now, but there were a few years where I had no grass at all and I just had mulch and veggie beds, and I had to smother the couch. I didn't want to spray it with poison, so I used this lead mat with some mulch on top and cardboard to smother the couch grass, and it worked really well, considering all of the websites and things that I read that said you won't be able to get rid of couch, you have to dig it out. I didn't do any digging and I got rid of all of it. So this worked really well, but I sort of don't want it anymore, and thankfully it's just in between all the garden beds here along the pathways. But I'm going to just use mulch and some ground covers, and hopefully that will suppress the weeds enough. Got some more beautiful paper daisies here. Just look at them. Let me refocus my camera. So pretty. I like that they're developing like multiple heads on one stem as well. That's really cool. I haven't had that in the past with previous ones that I've grown. And the last few days I've actually picked some tomatoes too. Some of these yellow cherry tomatoes started to ripen and I was able to pick them. Over there we've got an Oxheart variety, and then it looks like over here, this one here is starting to ripen too. That's a tomato. It's a really tall, healthy plant. More salvias, and this bucket I'm just using to put my little suckers in that I'm pruning out from my tomatoes. More tomatoes. I'm mostly focusing on tomatoes this year. As you can see, there's a lot of them, and the blackbirds have been getting into this bed and making a mess and covering up all my basil seedlings. So I'm going to try and cover this mesh with something to stop them doing that, because I'd really love basil to go with my tomatoes this year. Lots of spring onions. Oh, look at the bees on that. Look at those beautiful bees. I'm really enjoying that spring onion flower. This one looks really cool, doesn't it? It's got like several little flowers have popped up from the flower head. I don't think I've seen them do that before, unless it's just the starting stages of them all popping out and turning into something more like that. There's another little bee. Pretty cool. I've got my chooks over there. One of my chooks is plucky at the moment, so I'm quarantining her. And I've got my blood plum over here, the Satsuma. It's got lots of plums on it as well. The old chook pen used to be here when we first built it. It was along this back fence area here, so I think the ground here is pretty rich and fertile, because for a few years there the chooks were just turning it over and pooping, and I was putting wood chips on it. So I think the fruit trees will do well. I've noticed all these weeds popping up in my yard that look like this. This one I've actually replanted because I kind of figured out, I think it's a sunflower. Here's one. Here's an example, because I used to grow, oh, hi Daisy. I used to grow sunflowers. Last year I was growing a lot of them, and Daisy's determined to get a pat. And yeah, I think they might have just dropped some seeds everywhere, because I'm getting all these weeds popping up that look like that. And I pulled out a bunch of them before realizing what I think they are. So I'm going to let them grow up and see if they turn into sunflowers now. Got a few tomatoes here. This one I'm letting all the suckers sprout, because I think this one is called Barry's Crazy Cherry, and it doesn't grow as tall as the others. and it just develops clusters of like what look like hundreds of little tomatoes on it. Little lemon yellow cherry tomatoes. And then over here we've got more. You guys might know what's going on with my passion fruit. I think it's got some sort of nutrient deficiency. You can see this pattern on the leaves is not quite the healthiest looking. I've put some blood and bone and some dynamic lifter on it recently, and I think the newer leaves are looking a bit healthier. But looking at the passion fruit that are developing, some of them are quite malformed. Like this is a good example. If you've got any ideas as to what could be causing that, let me know. Now this area here is going to get very crowded. I've got a little alley up here that I can come down in order to pick my tomatoes. Look at that one. Isn't that just gorgeous? Anyway, and I think what's going to happen is the passion fruit will start to reach across the aisle, and the tomatoes will do the same, and it's going to get a bit crazy. For now, the tomatoes are somewhat manageable, but they're all about to outgrow their stakes. Get down, Daisy. Get down. Good girl. And yeah, they're going to start flopping over everywhere soon. It's going to be a big mess. Anyway, hope you get some time out in the garden today or tomorrow, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.